Coming up next on This Week in Torrance.
Over 2 million refugees have fled Syria since the war started 3 years ago, and one woman is helping to provide job opportunities for some. We'll tell you more.
Plus, voters were out for a historic election at El Camino College. We'll tell you how voters will change the face of this community college after 66 years.
And the Torrance Police Department has a new state-of-the-art lab that is identifying crime in new ways. We'll take a look at how the new lab will help solve mysteries.
And healthcare reform is affecting how many will move forward with staying healthy. We'll tell you what this means for one local family. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. It was a historic election here in the South Bay, and residents of South Torrance got to personally take part in voting in new board members at El Camino College. And with nearly 20% of its students from Torrance, it's no surprise this is an important topic of discussion for this city. Reporter Haley Skeen is covering El Camino College board race and has more. Haley?
Hi guys, I'm here at El Retiro Park, one of the few places in South Torrance that residents can cast their vote for the Area 5 representative for the El Camino Board of Trustees. Now, I had the chance to talk to a few community members who told us just why this election is so important.
I feel it's important as a right, as one of my freedoms, to use my right to vote.
Torrance resident Mary Burton was among the nearly 200 voters who made their voices heard this election night.
I don't have any room to complain if I'm not out here voting.
And for Burton, the night's election is particularly important.
I am a firm believer in the university or the college campus over there, and being part of the city of Torrance, I think my children could possibly go there.
Burton herself is an alumnus of El Camino College, so she realizes the importance of voting for who she believes is the right candidate who will help guide the future direction of the school.
I'm afraid that they don't understand the impact that the individual people within the small districts can make on the way the whole big system of community colleges is handled and run.
After election night, the 6-member board will make some heavy decisions, from creating policies to handling finances that will impact the educational opportunities for current and future students. And it's not just students who have a stake in the outcome.
Even if you don't have children, you have neighbors who have children. Your home's value depends on the schools being great schools.
And Burton knows that her one vote does make a difference.
It does. Every little bit helps. There's a little bit goes a long way.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. Here are the unofficial election results. Hawthorne School Board member John Vargas edged out Hawthorne City Councilman Nilo Michelin for Area 2, which represents Hawthorne and the unincorporated areas of Wiseburn, Del Air, and Lenox. Vargas took 51% of votes, while Michelin took almost 48%. In Area 5, representing South Torrance and South Redondo Beach, Torrance City Council member Cliff Newmark defeated University Tech Administrator G. Rick Marshall. Newmark took close to 58%, while Marshall took almost 30%, and Area Chafee closed out with 13%.
Across town, Torrance residents also voted for 3 open seats within the Torrance Unified School District Board. Christy Wilcox is covering that race. Christy?
Thanks, Jin Ben. I'm here at Wood Elementary, where people have been trickling in to cast their vote all day long. Now, there are 4 candidates vying for 3 open positions on the Torrance Unified School District School Board. Earlier today, I spoke to current Assembly Member Almar Tsuchi, who is a former board member, and he talked to me about some of the future issues these board members will face. The stakes are high as voters select 3 members of the local school board.
Everyone has a stake to ensure that we have great schools here in Torrance.
And many say it's more than just education.
And the schools have a big influence on our community, homes, real estate values. I mean, it doesn't have to look far from here to see how dysfunctional school districts affect property values in other communities.
Assemblymember Morisuchi says school board members will confront major issues to keep the community and schools above par.
Number one is Common Core. Common Core is a new curriculum and new standards that's supported by educators, as well as business leaders across the country.
California is one of the 45 states teaching kids this new learning standard. Another new challenge in 2013 is the local control funding formula, essentially a new method of allocating funds to schools.
This is the biggest change in the way California's public schools are funded in decades.
And last, it means looking at the value of vocational programs like the Southern California Regional Occupational Center, teaching students career skills.
Crown jewel of career technical education in the state of California. But again, because of these major changes in the way schools are funded, SCROC is being threatened with the possibility of having to close down.
And it's these diverse topics that school board members will face as they try to keep setting high standards. Also the reason others say it's the responsibility of all Americans.
You have to actually get up and do something about it. Then your vote does matter. This is, after all, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And I'm sorry, but we are the people. The government works for us.
Now, there are approximately 88,000 people in the community of Torrance who are registered to vote. I went out to several of the polling locations today, and it was a wee bit quiet, but the hope is that many people have turned in their absentee ballot. Reporting for CitiCABLE, I'm Christy Wilcox. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Christy. According to unofficial polling results, Torrance re-elected 3 incumbents to the school board. Martha Deutsch ended up leader at the end of the evening with 27.5% of the vote, while Mark Steffen took second seat with almost 27%. Steffen will serve a third 4-year term, and school board member Michael Warmers finished third with almost 24% after all precincts turned in their votes.
Assemblyman Maritsuchi recently joined state and local stakeholders to meet with the Aerospace Advisory Council to enhance business opportunities in California. Maritsuchi joined Michael Rossi, the senior advisor for jobs and business development, Governor Jerry Brown, and other representatives to discuss California initiatives to support the aerospace industry and address improvements. Maritsuchi says that economic contributions, job opportunities, and innovation in aerospace can help maintain industry essentials. One of the meeting highlights was the introduction of Assembly Bill 93. The bill would include a sales and use tax exemption for manufacturing and biotech equipment to promote new business activity. The Assembly member also said he looks forward to working with Governor Brown to save California's aerospace industry.
Simon Property Group's Del Amo Fashion Center is kicking off its revitalization plans with the installation of new air conditioning units. During the early morning hours of Sunday, November 3rd, nearly 24 AC units were helicoptered onto the rooftop of the mall. Airlifting the units helped to complete the delivery in a shorter period of time than utilizing cranes. Now, that would have been a method that would have taken nearly 16 hours over the course of 2 days. And putting the safety of its community first, Torrance Police and Fire helped to close off surrounding roads and offer support until the work was complete and ready to open to the public. Along with the new air conditioning units, the first phase of the redevelopment also includes the construction of the new patio cafes and the garden-inspired dining pavilion, replacing the existing food court that's slated to open during this holiday season.
The mayor and city council members were back in chambers for this week's meeting. Here is a roundup of your community matters. City honored Lisa Terlazzo of the City Treasurer's Office upon her retirement from the City of Torrance. After 24 years of service, Terlazzo began as an account clerk for the Finance Department in 1989, then transferred over to the City Treasurer's Office, where she primarily worked. Next, the city proclaimed November 3rd through the 9th as California Retired Teachers Week here in Torrance. The city wanted to share its sincere appreciation for the many retired educators in Torrance, especially thanking them for their countless hours of time and involvement in the local school. November was declared Torrance Education Foundation Month here in Torrance, founded 21 years ago to provide necessary and otherwise unavailable funding for student programs. The Torrance Unified School District and the Torrance Education Foundation was started by parents, teachers, school administrators, and members of the Torrance business sector. An invaluable resource to Torrance area students and schools. Since its inception, the TEF has raised almost $4 million for TUSD programs, scholarships, teacher grants, and much more. And finally, Wreaths Across America Day will be held on Saturday, December 14th, across America to honor our veterans. The council is encouraging the community to participate by sponsoring a $15 wreath or assist in laying wreaths to remember our fallen veterans. The goal is to place 5,000 wreaths at Los Angeles Veterans Memorial Cemetery. You can also catch replays of this week's council meeting right here on Time Warner Cable, Time Warner CitiCABLE, Channel 3, or Verizon Fios Channel 31 every Wednesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. You can also watch online at torranceca.gov. Still ahead, Syrian refugees get a helping hand from one Torrance woman. We'll tell you more.
Plus, health reform means finding a new way to care for everyone. Find out what one family is doing to help their disabled child.
Because my parents told me I have to be responsible.
Because my first coach told me, you can do this.
Because my teacher helped me see the choices.
Because my coach treated me like everybody else.
Because my boss showed me how to do a good job.
Because a mentor believed in my potential.
Is why I am where I am today.
I'm swimming faster than I ever dreamed I could.
I discovered that I could work as an artist.
I led my high school team to 2 championships.
I am a valuable employee.
I have a career that I am passionate about.
I will be whatever I want to be.
What can you do?
What can you do?
Like all young people, youth with disabilities should grow up expecting to work and succeed. For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
The war in the Middle Eastern country of Syria has prompted over 2 million people to flee to refugee camps in neighboring countries, and most are struggling to find resources to survive. Reporter Haley Skeen met up with one woman giving refugees unique job opportunities.
They saved their plastic bags and then crocheted them and turned them into this.
Arriving in the Middle East 4 years ago, Nicole Constable's broad mission was to help the Syrian refugees. But the question was, how could one person make a difference?
We saw a lot of shame in the people receiving, and so we wanted to do something where they were able to provide for themselves.
Constable realized the refugees would need to first learn how to help themselves. So she started a knitting group called Hungry Hearts International, where women could make sweaters and hats for their children and for an income.
You can see they take a lot of work, like they do extra work to make it really nice. It's not just an income. They're really proud of their work and try to be creative.
And the knitting group has been therapeutic for its members.
In getting together, they spend a lot of time sharing grief.
Constables returned to her home in Torrance to spread the word about the need and to share the refugees' handiwork with friends and neighbors.
No, I'm extremely proud of her. I'm going to get choked up here. It's awesome what she's doing.
Constable's project has now grown to 3 groups of nearly 50 women. And in the past year, since the group formed, she's seen a change in the women.
I saw this kind of down, ashamed kind of demeanor, and it's changed to look at what I was able to provide for my family.
Although ending the war in Syria is out of Constable's reach, she has found a way for one person to make a difference. For CitiCABLE, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. The constables are holding a 5K run on November 16th to raise money for the refugees. To take part in the fundraiser, call 310-325-5624.
Healthcare reform has brought many complex issues to the table, including how people with disorders will receive the appropriate health treatment. Reporter Faith Lee met with one family who is looking for the right healthcare for their child with special needs.
Anna and Luis Ortiz adopted Damien when he was 7 months old. And now that he's 4, he acts just like any other kid. But there's one thing that sets him apart from other children. He doesn't like to talk as much.
When we went to the speech pathologist, she had said, you know what, I'm sorry, but I can tell you that I see the signs for autism.
The Ortiz family tried to seek help from a regional center, a place that provides services to developmentally disabled children and adults. But the process was far from a breeze.
We asked them different things. Well, this is what we want for him. We weren't going to leave there with you telling us no. They also wanted us to wait 6 months for us to get any type of help.
Fortunately, the Ortizes have healthcare coverage that allows them to get help from an organization called the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. But not all families with an autistic child are this lucky.
Families who are economically challenged will not be able to afford services, and they would typically start off at a regional center, but if their symptoms aren't severe enough, those parents might not qualify for funding through the regional center.
But things are soon going to change for these families, thanks to the Affordable Care Act.
In California, the autism coverage is covered under the essential health benefits, which means that if you go to one of the state exchange, if you go to the California State Exchange, you can get coverage for autism treatment for your child.
Under President Obama's Affordable Care Act, federal subsidies will make obtaining insurance a lot cheaper for lower-income families.
It definitely is going to increase access to treatment for families who haven't had insurance but maybe don't qualify for services through the regional centers.
Beginning in 2014, families will be able to get the treatments they need without worrying much about cost sharing.
The Affordable Care Act caps the out-of-pocket expenses for families. I think it's $12,750, and that sounds like a lot of money, but most families will qualify for some subsidies, and those numbers will come down.
Although the Ortiz family has coverage for Damien's special needs, they are also happy about the changes that the Affordable Care Act will bring.
They can't put any limitations now on what services he's going to be able to get.
And even though Damien's has challenges, he's the most special person in the Ortiz's lives.
We also believe that Damien's going to do everything that a typical child is going to do. He may do it a little different, he may do it a little slower, he may learn it a different way, but we honestly believe in our hearts that he's going to be okay.
Families with autistic children may face many challenges, but even if they have incomes of up to $94,000, they may qualify for subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Faith Lee.
Thanks, Faith. To learn more, log on to centerforautism.com and click on the Affordable Care banner.
Torrance residents had a chance to pick up an assortment of handcrafted items recently at the annual Weaving and Fiber Festival. The Southern California Handweavers Guild hosted its annual festival at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center, and it attracted people from all ages. Vendors sold a variety of products from yarns to weaving tools and plenty of handmade items like shawls. There was also a fiber craft demonstration on where people who took part in the occasion had the opportunity to learn how thread is made. If you would like to find out more information or be part of the Southern California Guild, go to schg.org.
The West High Booster Club put on a pancake breakfast recently to raise funds to support over 24 sports programs. In order to make the event successful, athletes sold tickets prior to the occasion. During the event, coaches and parents flipped pancakes over a hot stove in the kitchen for hungry visitors. More than 1,200 people showed up in support of the cause. They dined on pancakes, sausages, oranges, coffee, and much more over the duration of the event. Now, if you missed out on this great breakfast, the West High Boosters Club will host more events like this one in the future. Be sure to go to their website at westhighbooster.org.
Torrance police need your help to solve a major traffic collision that occurred at the intersection of Prairie Avenue and Redondo Beach Boulevard. The accident took place on Monday, November 4th, around 1:30 p.m., when a yellow Honda motorcycle traveling northbound on Prairie Avenue collided with the newspaper stand on the east sidewalk. Now, after the motorcycle hit the newsstand, it crashed to the rear of a Toyota Sienna van. The motorcyclist was transported to a local hospital and is in critical condition. If you witnessed the collision or have information, please contact the Torrance Police Department Traffic Division at 310-618-5557.
The Torrance Police Department is getting a new look and some new tools to help investigators. Reporter Haley Skeen gets a first-hand look at the new state-of-the-art forensics lab.
Criminals are getting smarter and smarter on what they're doing, and we have to get smarter and smarter and beat them at their game.
The forensic specialists at the Torrance Police Department now have all the tools they need to do just that. The new lab was 3 years and $1.5 million in the making, and desperately needed.
We had what was left over of an old LA County narcotics lab, and it was very outdated. The equipment that we had was almost unuseful.
It's fitting that money confiscated from drug dealers and other criminal activity paid for the new equipment. The forensic team, 6 civilian specialists, and Supervisor Brandelli showed off their new lab to city leaders.
We can take that item, either spray or dip a chemical called ninhydrin. The ninhydrin chemically reacts with the substances that are left in our fingerprints, and it turns this cool purple. So you get this bright purple fingerprint.
The state-of-the-art equipment for analyzing DNA and digital imaging has already led to a 400% increase in picking up fingerprints.
And we're going to continue to do everything we can to make sure these criminals that try to come into the city to commit crimes are not successful.
And the new lab is a great step to help ensure that promise.
And I think that the citizens of Torrance are going to be very, very happy with what they're seeing and what, ultimately they've paid for.
This is great news for citizens, and it also gives Torrance police the upper hand in the fight against crime. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. The unit has collected thousands of fingerprints and DNA samples already and has helped the police identify more than 500 suspects. Coming up after the break, the city of Torrance is looking for volunteers to help shoot some hoops. We'll tell you more when we come back.
If I ride, I will know the way the trees smell after the rain. I will grow a heart so strong that hospitals will take Tuesdays off. If I ride uphill, I will eventually get to ride downhill. That's how it works. If I ride, my breath will fill the air instead of smoke and car exhaust. If I ride, road rage will turn into laughter. And I won't be a boy or a girl. I will just be a rider. If I ride, I will be strong.
It's time now to take a look at the upcoming calendar. Here's what's happening in the next few weeks. If you are a basketball fan, the City of Torrance is looking for volunteer head coaches for more than 200 teams for K through 8th grades. The basketball program teaches youth the basic fundamentals and rules of the game. If you're interested in coaching or simply just like the game, complete an online volunteer application at torranceca.gov/volunteerprogram.htm or call 310-618-2967.
And if you're looking to experience the ultimate flight, the Western Museum of Flight will be hosting an event that will take you on a journey in the sky. On Saturday, November 16th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., safety-certified commemorative Air Force pilots will be giving pattern and area flights to people who sign up. For more information or to book a flight, you can email cm@wmof.com or call 714-300-5524. Now it's time to catch some highlights from Juan Hernandez.
Juan, what do you have for us?
Hey there, love popping in and giving you a preview of the upcoming week on the Sports Desk. Here's what we've got on deck. Football playoffs are right around the corner, and there are plenty of Torrance squads in the mix. In particular, one rivalry is going to heat up here because somebody's going to punch their ticket to the postseason while their opponent faces an early end to their 2013 campaign. Of course, I'm not telling you who will move on and who stays home. That's why you watch the Sports Desk, 4 p.m. and 9:30 every day here on CitiCABLE 3. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Juan. Every year, the City of Torrance hosts the Halloween Carnival at Wilson Park on Halloween Day, and reporter Faith Lee has details.
Kids love to be at Halloween carnivals for a few good reasons. First of all, they like to be outside. Second, they like playing carnival games. And let's not forget the most important part.
Trick or treat!
But this carnival is not just for the kids.
I love this song.
44-year-old Judith Anika is just as into the holiday spirit as her kids.
Makeup and then to do the dress up about hour and a half.
Although this is her first year dressing up, Anika and her family have been coming to the Torrance Halloween Carnival for the past 7 years.
Yeah, I used to come here, so now they grow up, but still they like to to spend some time here.
And just like Anika, hundreds of other parents found good reasons to be at the Wilson Park on Halloween.
My kids, you know, they love Halloween, so I just want to participate with them. I want to be part of the party.
Tonight, we've learned that Halloween carnivals are not only about the trick and the treat. It's a time where families can come together and share memories for years to come. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Faith Lee.
Thank you, Faith. Looks like a good time. Torrance's Halloween Carnival happens every year for people of all ages, whether you're 4, 44, 104, doesn't matter. For other opportunities offered at Wilson Park, go to torranceca.gov/parks. Well, that's it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Be sure to like our page to get the latest updates on what's going on in Torrance.
That's facebook.com/This Week in Torrance TV. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.